What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've been putting off for a while. Not even really so much putting off, I just thought I would not do it until maybe years from now because it's something that I don't think is really that worth talking about at this point, but so many people are demanding that I make this video, so you know what, I mean, fine, I guess I'll do it. Just keep in mind this is going to be 100% speculation just based on how I've interpreted the story again, so don't freak out if you disagree with me. The reason I don't want to make this video is because we have so little information on these people. But what I'm going to be talking about here is, well, I'm just going to be ranking the Emperors, okay? A lot of people have been liking my ranking videos lately, and they've been wanting to see what I think about the Yonko, the Emperors of One Piece. So now, before I get into this, two things I would like to mention. One, I will be including Whitebeard in this. I know he's dead, but I still think it is definitely worthy of it, especially because I think the first two are the only ones that I'm not completely sure about, but I'm pretty confident in the others. And the second thing I would like everyone to take note of is I'm not talking about overall combat power, okay? Not how much damage they could do to a large amount of shitty ass people, right? I'm pretty much just talking about 1v1s, like if, you know, I put someone as number 4 and someone as number 3, 3 would beat number 4 and 5. That could be untrue with ridiculous counters, I suppose, but in this situation, I don't think there really are any counters of that sort, so that's how I'm going to be doing this. So coming in at 5th place, I have Big Mom, and I think a lot of people are both going to be upset by this and a lot of people in agreement, right? So I think a lot of people are going to be upset by this because from what we've seen so far in this arc, you know, especially more recently now that we're actually getting some Big Mom action, she's pretty goddamn powerful, right? I think we can all agree on that. The thing is, though, I mean, this is a Yonko, right? Like, I'm expecting to see ridiculous amounts of power, so I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, honestly. Although this is pretty much more than we've seen from anybody else so far, with the exception of maybe Mihawk, and we really have not seen anything more from him, just we can kind of assume he has potential to. But even though this is more than we've seen from anybody, I just think that the others have more, right? Although she does have apparently a pretty strong defense, I don't know how effective that would be against other Yonko level people, right? Especially like Shanks, Kaito, Whitebeard. I mean, come on. I have a feeling that they would definitely be able to damage her to some extent if they landed a real blow. We don't really know how powerful she is physically, since she wasn't even able to do a tremendous amount of damage against Capone when he was in his giant castle form. I mean, she did over time, but it took a lot of hits, right? And she is a monstrosity, so I kind of expected her to do a lot more damage to him, even though he, of course, is still very powerful. I think the big thing she's got going for her is a pretty overpowered Devil Fruit. I think it's really strong and she makes use of it quite well. But, I mean, with the guy that I have at number 4, I think he has maybe even more of an overpowered Devil Fruit or overpowered Devil Fruits. So yes, coming in at number 4, I have Blackbeard, okay? I know a lot of people actually think that he could be the strongest, but I really do not think he's that strong, right? I mean, of course, he is Emperor level. I just said that I think Big Mom is more powerful than anyone we've seen so far, and I'm putting him above her. But he has, like, some of the most broken Devil Fruits ever, right? He has at least 2 Devil Fruits. I personally am a fan of the Cerberus theory, so I think he could very well have at least 3 Devil Fruits. And at least the 2 confirmed, right? The Darkness Fruit and the Quake Fruit are extremely powerful, especially the Darkness Fruit. We don't even know all the things he can do with it, and the things that we do know are already crazy broken. But so, again, I think he is in a pretty similar situation as Big Mom, where he, you know, might have some decent combat abilities. Of course, he is an Emperor, he can't just be nothing. He has to have decently strong haki. He might even have Conquerors. I would not be surprised in the slightest. And he is a D. But I think he mainly is reliant on his Devil Fruit powers, and I know a lot of people have said, a lot of people who think he's the strongest, because when he had no Devil Fruits, or at the very least maybe just the Cerberus Devil Fruit, he was able to, you know, do damage to Shanks. He gave him that scar. But here's the problem, okay? I don't think that that is a very good indication of his power, because for one thing, if you were actually to tell me that he was able to do damage to Shanks to the point that he had a scar on his eye, then it just doesn't make sense how he wasn't able to absolutely annihilate Ace pretty much just by looking at him. and just doing a lot more pretty much on screen all the times we've seen him, right? Like, he should be near Emperor level at that point, but that's clearly not the case. And even more importantly, in my opinion, the biggest indicator that he was not that strong without his devil fruits is that Shanks, when talking to Whitebeard, was saying, you know, he was pointing at his scar saying, this is the one that hurts most, referring to Blackbeard, okay? And what is very important is he was mentioning, because of this, that, you know, Blackbeard was not just waiting around for this kind of stuff. He is a conniver, a schemer, and anytime he can get himself more powerful in a better position, no matter what he has to do, no matter who he has to kill and whatnot, he will take that opportunity. I don't think he was in a 1v1 battle against Shanks or anything like that. They were probably just like chilling out or something, eating some food like Luffy and Blackbeard were in at the beginning of the series, and maybe he just thought, oh, well, you know what, Shanks has a really high bounty, right? Kind of similar to how he did with Luffy. I'm gonna try and just assassinate him real quick. And boom, while Shanks wasn't paying attention, he just, whatever. He might even have been wasted or something. It's just, I really don't think that that whole him having a scar from Blackbeard thing is a huge indicator of his actual combat abilities without devil fruits. And at number 3, I have Shanks. I don't think I have to say too much. There really isn't so much that I even can say because there's just so much speculation when it comes to Shanks, right? We've never really seen him in any actual combat. Sure, we saw him stop Akainu, but that didn't really show us anything. A lot of people will argue that he could even be, again, the strongest Yonko because when he stopped Akainu, it stopped the entire war, right? But what are you talking about? I mean, the Whitebeard Pirates pretty much pushed Marineford to the point that they almost lost. Like, I mean, yeah, it was a pretty decisive victory, but if they had, like, one more Marco or something, maybe even, like, 2 more Josephs or something like that, I could very well have seen them winning that war. Okay? So, of course, when another Emperor comes, it's over, right? They cannot handle that. They're going to have to say, all right, we're done here. They cannot fight Shanks and his entire crew. It's just, that would never happen. So I don't think that he's the strongest Emperor by any means. I think he is very strong, though. I think he might have the strongest haki in the entire world at this point, with the exception of maybe Mihawk having stronger armament haki or something of that sort. I think that's pretty fair. I don't think anyone would really have any stronger hakis than that. Maybe someone with a better observation, but I think he definitely currently is the king of Conqueror's haki, right? I think most people can agree on that. Again, there's not too much to say about this guy because we haven't ever really seen anything out of him that's like, oh yeah, this is definitely a good place to put him. This is just the feeling I'm getting from it. I think he is certainly stronger than the bottom 2, and I don't think there's any way in hell that he is stronger than the top 2. So, moving on to number 2, I have Whitebeard. Now, this one is probably going to be the one that people are most upset about. It's like every position I've said, like, people are probably going to be upset about this. This one has to be the biggest one, though, if I had to guess. Because I'm thinking a lot of people are going to be like, Whitebeard has to be number 1. But first of all, keep in mind that I did say that this is just 1v1 battles, right? So what I'm saying is that Kaito would be able to beat Whitebeard 1v1, and Whitebeard would beat everyone below him 1v1. And here, pretty much for the exact opposite reasons of Shanks, I don't think that I have to say much about this. I think the better way to do this would be to explain why he's not at number 1, so I would just have to do that when I get to Kaito. I think that pretty much everyone agrees he's probably stronger than the ones I have put below him. I mean, we've seen so much out of him. He was able to do a ridiculous amount of work in the War of the Best, like absolutely insane. Even after getting betrayed and whatnot, I mean, he had taken so much damage and just kept going on fighting Admiral after Admiral. It was just nonstop. He completely annihilated any Vice Admiral that was anywhere near him. He was a complete monster. I would be very surprised if many people argued that he is below Shanks. I mean, I have seen that happen before, but I think that's absurd. And yeah, I think that this is a fair placement of him. And then, so of course, again, I have Kaito at number 1. This is the one, again, people probably aren't going to like, but a lot of people are probably going to want Whitebeard. But you know what? I am 100% taking to heart the line from the narrator. If it is one-on-one, Kaito will win, they say. And that's exactly how I'm doing this ranking system, right? If it is a 1v1 battle and he wins, then he goes to number 1 spot here. So, I mean, you could say, the narrator does say, like, this is what people say. They say that if it's one-on-one, Kaito will win. Sure, I mean, I guess that just means that that's something people say, but you have to understand that this is a story that's written by a person named Oda, and he wrote that in there. Like, One Piece is not a real world, right? Like, this is something written by Oda, and he put that line in there for the narrator. Like, why would he put that in there if it wasn't supposed to be the case? I don't really understand. And even without that, I mean, I think it's a pretty fair assumption, not necessarily assumption, but it's not unbelievable to say that, right? I mean, we've seen Kaito at this point. We haven't really seen much of his combat abilities, but we have seen him. He is clearly larger than Whitebeard. I don't know how he could not be. I've seen people say they're probably the same size. Maybe because it kind of is weird when they try to show you how big certain people are. Like, I remember the first time we saw Whitebeard, he was clearly way larger than he actually was, like in the War of the Best and whatnot. But, you know, that was way earlier in the series. I would hope Oda has this down by now. You know, I mean, Kaito looked like a fucking skyscraper, and he is just jacked beyond all reason. Like, you think Whitebeard was jacked because he completely was. He was just a monstrosity of pure power. Kaito is like triple the size of this guy, just in terms of muscle proportions, right? Complete monster. For all we know, he's indestructible. So, I mean, how is anyone supposed to beat this guy 1v1? And the only exception to him being number one is, like I said, if there were some kind of crazy-ass counters, I really wouldn't be taking them to an effect. And this one that I have that could potentially be a counter, I guess, would be Blackbeard versus Kaito, just because I am actually a huge fan of the idea of Kaito being a poneglyph that ate the giant fruit or even the Oni fruit, whatever. It doesn't make a difference to me. And then would that mean that Blackbeard could just instantly destroy him, right? Like, what if he used his darkness fruit on Kaito? Would he revert back to a poneglyph who cannot do anything? I would assume that would be the case, but we really have no evidence for the most part that Kaito is a poneglyph, so that's not even worth mentioning. Not to mention, could Blackbeard even get close enough to Kaito that he'd be able to do that? I don't know. I don't know how that'd work, but that I'm certainly not going to put Blackbeard number one. Okay, that's just not going to happen, so yeah. I have Kaito at number one. I'm sorry if you're salty if you think Whitebeard should be at number one, but I really think it's got to be Kaito. I think the 1v1 thing is just way too much in his favor. He's supposed to be pretty much indestructible, and I have a feeling that his offensive capabilities are insane as well. We haven't even seen the man's devil fruit. We don't even know if he has a devil fruit. I mean, I would be blown away if he didn't have one. But we have not seen or confirmed that he has one, and he already, to me, seems like a complete monster, right? So I think he definitely has earned this spot. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to leave me a comment letting me know what you thought about this video. Maybe give me your list of the emperors where you think they fit into this. Make sure you are specifying whether we're talking about just pure combat power or 1v1 abilities, because there is a huge difference there, I think, for sure. I think that these would be totally different if we were talking about just combat power in general. I think Shanks might even be the lowest, honestly. But whatever, don't kill me for that one, please. Make sure to let me know future ideas you'd like to see, different versus battles, different One Piece theories, just ideas you have maybe you'd like to hear a discussion on, whatever, let me know. Thank you so much if you made it all the way until the end here. I hope you guys have an excellent Wednesday, and I'll talk to you on Friday.